Hello, everyone. Welcome to my show. I'm the Empath, and we're back with Babble, and we're reading from Numbers. Like I've said before, Numbers is one of my not so favorite books of the Bible, but I will just go through it, and if you find philosophical meaning out of it, congratulations. Good for you. I am mildly, I don't know, not necessarily envious, but I at least wish I could find the meaning from it that you can. So, anyway, Chapter 9 The Second Passover. The Lord spoke to Moses in the Sinai desert in the first month of the second year after the people of Israel had left Egypt. He said, On the 14th day of this month, beginning at sunset, the people of Israel are to observe the Passover according to all the rules and regulations for it. So Moses told the people to observe the Passover, and on the evening of the 14th day of the first month they did so in the Sinai desert. The people did everything just as the Lord commanded Moses. Uh, but there were some men who were ritually unclean because they had touched a corpse, and they were not able to keep the Passover on that day. They went to Moses and Aaron and said, We are unclean because we have touched a corpse. But why should we be excluded from presenting the Lord's offerings with the rest of the Israelites, or the Lord's offering? Moses answered, Wait until I receive instructions from the Lord. The Lord told Moses to say to the people of Israel, When any of you or your descendants are unclean from touching a corpse or are far away on a journey, but still want to keep the Passover, you are permitted to observe it 1 month later instead. On the evening of the 14th day of the second month, celebrate it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Do not leave any of the food until the following morning, and do not break any of the animal's bones. Observe the Passover according to all the regulations. But anyone who is ritually clean and not away on a journey and who does not observe the Passover shall no longer be considered one of my people, because he did not present the offering to me at the appointed time. He must suffer the consequences of his sin. If a foreigner living among you wants to keep the Passover, he must observe it according to all the rules and regulations. The same law applies to everyone, whether native or foreign. I'm guessing what they're talking about. The corpse is someone dead and someone died, and they were just handling the body to bury it or something like that. And so those people get ritually unclean because they touch corpses. But so it sucks to be them. But it's just like you say that they were ritually unclean because they touched a corpse. That's kind of morbid. Um. Anyway, continuing on to the fiery cloud. On the day of the tent of the Lord's presence was set up, a cloud came and covered it. At night the cloud looked like fire. Whenever the cloud lifted, the people of Israel broke camp, and they set up camp again in the place where the cloud came down. So people, essentially, they had a tornado, and let's just set up our camp right where a tornado touches down, shall we? Good thing it's God and not just a tornado, because otherwise that camp wouldn't be set down; they'd be dead. Um, where the yeah, I just read that the people broke camp at the command of the Lord, and at his command they set up camp. As long as the cloud stayed over the tent, they stayed in the same camp. When the cloud stayed over the tent for a long time, they observed the Lord and did not move on. Sometimes the cloud remained over the tent for only a few days. In any case, they remained in camp or moved, according to the command of the Lord. Sometimes the cloud remained only from evening until morning, and they moved on as soon as the cloud had lifted. Whenever the cloud lifted, they moved on, whether it was 2 days, a month, a year, or longer. As long as the cloud remained over the tent, they did not move on. But when it lifted, they moved. That's a very interesting thing to have happen. That's like, it's kind of like what military families do, I suppose. Um, Maybe not as short of a time as morning to evening, unless you're staying in a hotel. But that's interesting. Um, hmm. Yeah, they set up camp and ruled camp in obedience to the commands which the Lord gave through Moses. Chapter 10 The Silver Trumpets. The Lord said to Moses, Make 2 trumpets of hammered silver to use for calling the people together and for breaking camp. When long blasts are sounded on both trumpets, the whole community is to gather around you at the entrance to the tent of my presence. But when only one trumpet is sounded, then only the leaders of the clans are to gather around you. When short blasts are sounded, the tribe camped on the east will move out. When short blasts are sounded a second time, the tribes on the south will move out. So short blasts are to be sounded to break camp. But in order to call the community together, long blasts are to be sounded. The trumpets are to be blown by Aaron's sons, the priests. The following rule is to be observed for all time to come. When you are at war in your land, defending yourselves against any enemy who has attacked you, sound the signal for battle on these trumpets. I, the Lord your God, will help you and save you from your enemies. Also, on joyful occasions, at your new moon festivals and your other religious festivals, you are to blow the trumpets when you present your burnt offerings and your fellowship offerings. Then I will help you. I am the Lord your God. Okay. The Israelites break camp. On the 20th day of the second month in the second year after the people left Egypt, the cloud over the tent of the Lord's presence lifted, and the Israelites started on their journey out of the Sinai desert. The cloud came to rest in the wilderness of Paran. They began to march at the command of the Lord through Moses, and each time they moved, they were in the same order. Those under the banner of the division, led by the tribe of Judah, started out first, company by company, with Nahshon, son of Amminadab, in command. Nathanael, son of Zuar, was in command of the tribe of Issachar, and Eliab, son of Helon, was in command of the tribe of Zebulun. Then the tent would be taken down, and the clans of Gershon and Merari, who carried it, would start out. Next, those under the banner of the division led by the tribe of Reuben would start out, company by company, with Eliezer, son of Shedeur, in command. Shelumiel, son of Zurishaddai, was in command of the tribe of Simeon, and Eliasaph, son of Deuel, was in command of the tribe of Gad. Then the Levite clan of Kohath would start out, carrying the sacred objects. By the time they arrived at the next camp, the tent had been set up again. Next, those under the banner of the division led by the tribe of Ephraim would start out, company by company, with Elishama, son of Ammihud, in command. Gamaliel, son of Pedazur, was in command of the tribe of Manasseh, and Abidan, son of Gideoni, was in command of the tribe of Benjamin. Okay, I know there are some of these names that I've said before, but that doesn't make it any easier to say them that I've said them once before, especially considering how long ago it was that I did the last Bible Babble, which I'm sorry about that. Finally, those under the banner of the division led by the tribe of Dan, serving as the rear guard of all the divisions, would start out company by company with Ahiezer, son of Ammishaddai, in command. Pagiel, son of Ochron, was in command of the tribe of Asher, and Ahira, son of Enan, was in command of the tribe of Naphtali. This, then, was the order of march, company by company, whenever the Israelites broke camp and set out. Moses said to his brother-in-law, Hobab, son of Jethro, and Midianite, those names though, Hobab, son of Jethro. I'm okay with that. We are about to start out, alright, so he said to his brother-in-law, we are about to start out for the place which the Lord said he would give us. He has promised to make Israel prosperous, so come with us, and we will share our prosperity with you. Hobab answered, No, I am going back to my native land. Please don't leave us, Moses said. You know where we can camp in the wilderness, and you can be our guide. If you come with us, we shall share with you all the blessings that the Lord gives us. Okay. People set out. When the people left Sinai, the holy mountain, they traveled 3 days. The Lord's covenant box always went ahead of them to find a place for them to camp. As they moved on from each camp, the cloud of the Lord was over them by day. Wherever the covenant box started out, Moses would say, Arise, Lord, scatter your enemies and put to flight those who hate you. And wherever it stopped, he would say, Return, Lord, to the thousands of families of Israel. Okay. Anyway, chapter 11, the place named Taberah. The people began to complain to the Lord about their troubles. When the Lord heard them, he became angry and sent fire on the people. It burned among them and destroyed one end of the camp. The people cried out to Moses for help. He prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. So the place was named Taberah, because there the fire of the Lord burned among them. The people complained, so it's like, fire! Okay, let it burn. Some people want to watch the world burn. Moses chooses 70 leaders. There were foreigners traveling with the Israelites. They had strong craving for meat, and even the Israelites themselves began to complain. If only we could have some meat. In Egypt, we used to eat all the fish we wanted, and it cost us nothing. Remember the cucumbers, the watermelons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic? We had none of that as meat. But now our strength is gone. There is nothing at all to eat. Nothing but this manna day after day. You are being fed, okay? Stop complaining. You want to be fed? Make yourself a pot. Put in some dirt and some plants, and then carry around some plants that can make you some of your fancy food. Cash. Manna was like small seeds, whitish yellow in color. It fell on the camp all night long with the dew. Okay, so that's what manna is. Small seeds, basically. Never knew that. The next morning, the people would go around and gather it, grind it, or pound it into flour, and then boil it and make it into flat cakes. It tasted like bread baked with olive oil. Moses heard all the people complaining as they stood around in groups at the entrances of their tents. He was distressed because the Lord had become angry with them. And he said to the Lord, "Why have you treated me so badly? Why are you displeased with me? Why have you given me the responsibility for all these people?" That's hold on, I've got to read that again like I imagine how he's reading it. Why have you treated me so badly? Why are you displeased with me? Why have you given me the responsibility for all these people? I didn't create them or bring them to birth. Why should you ask me to act like a nurse and carry them in my arms like babies all the way to the land you promised to their ancestors? Where could I get enough meat for all of these people? They keep whining and asking for meat. I can't be responsible for all these people by myself. It's too much for me. If you're going to treat me like this, have pity on me and kill me, so that I won't have to endure your cruelty any longer. That's maybe with a bit more anguish, but that's how I imagine Moses is saying this. Be like, why do I have to deal with these people? Why do I have to deal with them while they're complaining all day long about wanting meat, while I'm having to carry them like babies to this place that you promised us? I mean, if dealing with these people is what I have to endure because you're displeased with me, just kill me now. That's basic. That's what he said. That's amusing. Just to see a little bit of modern humanity in biblical times. The Lord said to Moses, "Assemble 70 respected men who are recognized as leaders of the people. Bring them to me at the tent of my presence and tell them to stand there beside you. I will come down and speak with you there, and I will take some of the spirit I have given you and give it to them. Then they can help you bear the responsibility for these people, and you will not have to bear it alone. Now tell the people, purify yourselves for tomorrow. You will have meat to eat. The Lord has heard you whining and saying that you wish you had some meat, and that you were better off in Egypt. Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will have to eat it." The other thing, they're complaining because, oh, we had meat in Egypt. We had this in Egypt. We had this in Egypt. You know what else you had in Egypt? You had torture. You were the ones being tortured and whipped and enslaved. Yeah. Pretty sure you don't want to go back to Egypt. Because then you'd go back to Egypt and then you'd flip-flop again and be like, "Oh, I wish we were free. I wish we were free instead of stuck in here with all this pain." I really don't like stupid people. Anyway. I have to pick up my place now. Anyway, I'll just pick up from here. Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will have to eat. Oh, and you will have to eat it. uh, you will have to eat it not just for 1 or 2 days, or 5 or 10, or even 20 days, but for a whole month until it comes out of your ears, until you are sick of it. This will happen because you have rejected the Lord who is here among you, and you have complained to him that you should never have left Egypt. Yeah, you've got to eat meat for a month until you're sick of it. And God knows that, like, if you're only eating meat for a month, you're not getting to have like bread or any of these other things, you'll get sick of it. And I know for a fact that that is true because I had to eat just about not much else except for chicken for at least a month. And I got sick of it. So sick of it. Even now, like I'm still like not entirely a fan of just doing chicken. Like I've got to have like some other kind of seasoning, or it has to be with something. But if I'm just doing chicken, no. You have to eat meat. Moses said to the Lord, "Here I am leading 600,000 people, and you say that you will give them enough meat for a month? Could enough cattle and sheep be killed to satisfy them? Are all the fish in the sea enough for them?" I, I can't I can't tell if he's talking about because we have all these people, or if he's talking about because they really want meat. "Is there a limit to my power?" the Lord answered. "You will soon see whether what I have said will happen or not." You're, you're questioning God. You're questioning God. Like, well, then again, with what I was saying before, like, there's a lot of people here. I can understand that being a concern, and not understanding just how powerful God is, or how it is He's going to deliver the meat. And then, because this is before Jesus and the miracle of the bread and the fish, so he doesn't have anything to go off of except for just knowing that God's powerful. But yeah. Um, and then the other thing is, if he's talking about that these guys really want meat, he could have just kind of been joking with him. Um, I still think that's just a funny way to look at it. So Moses went out and told the people what the Lord had said. He assembled 70 of the leaders and placed them around the tent. Then the Lord came down in the cloud and spoke to him. He took some of the Spirit he had given to Moses and gave it to the 70 leaders. When the Spirit came on them, they began to shout like prophets, but not for long. Two of the 70 leaders, Eldad and Medad, okay, interesting names, had stayed in the camp and not gone out to the tent. There in the camp the Spirit came on them, and they too began to shout like prophets. A young man ran out to tell Moses with Eldad and Medad what Eldad and Medad were doing. Then Joshua, son of Nun, who had been Moses' helper since he was a young man, spoke up and said to Moses, "Stop them, sir." Moses answered, "Are you concerned about my interests? I wish that the Lord would give his Spirit to all his people and make all of them shout like prophets." Then Moses and the 70 leaders of Israel went back to camp. Yeah, that's true. Be like, "Hey, this guy is talking like a prophet. Stop him from talking like a prophet." Dude, he's got Holy Spirit in him. Let the man have his Holy Spirit. Sheesh. The arrogance of some people. The Lord sends quails. Oh, I remember this now. Suddenly the Lord sent a wind that brought quails from the sea, flying 3 feet above the ground. They settled on the camp and all around it for miles and miles in every direction. So all that day, all night, and all the next day, the people worked catching quails. No one gathered less than 50 bushels. How much is a bushel? They spread them out to dry all around the camp. While there was still plenty of meat for them to eat, the Lord became angry with the people and caused an epidemic to break out among them. That place was named Kibroth Hattava, or Graves of Craving, because there they buried the people who had craved meat. Huh? I'm confused. So God sent the quails, and there's plenty of meat, and the Lord became angry with them. I don't know. Maybe they were still complaining because it was just quail, and they were like, "Yeah, but I want beef. I want steak." Be like, "Dude, you asked for meat. I sent you meat, and now you are complaining about wanting meat." Like, nah. Like if I'm complaining about like starving and not having any food, and I'm sent chicken, then I can't complain about not having food because I have chicken. Uh, well, okay. I think I'm gonna end it there. I think that's a Wait, no. Oh, that's not the end of the chapter. I will finish the end of the chapter. So Moses cried out to the Lord, "O God, heal her." Wait, what? Oh, what did I miss? I missed something. I'm sorry. I thought I'd finished. I hadn't. Um, Moses married. Oh, I never finished the quill thing. From from there the people moved to Hazeroth, where they made camp. Okay, I'll read chapter 12 and then I'll end it. Miriam is punished. Moses had married a Cushite woman, uh, and Miriam and Aaron criticized him for it. They said, "Has the Lord spoken only through Moses? Hasn't he also spoken through us?" The Lord heard what they said. Moses was a humble man, more humble than anyone else on earth. Suddenly the Lord said to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, "I want the three of you to come out to the tent of my presence." They went, and the Lord came down in a pillar of cloud, stood at the entrance of the tent, and called out, "Aaron, Miriam." The two of them stepped forward. And the Lord said, "Now hear what I have to say. When there are prophets among you, I reveal myself to them in visions and speak to them in dreams. It is different when I speak with my servant Moses. I have put him in charge of all my people, Israel. So I speak to him face to face, clearly and not in riddles. He has even seen my form. How dare you speak against my servant Moses?" Okay, so Moses got himself a girlfriend, and or well, a wife, married a Cushite woman, and Miriam and Aaron are like, "Are you sure? Are you sure that's the girl that you want to be with that girl and have her children? Like, really?" And God's just like, "Mm-mm. I ship this. I am okay with Moses and this girl. I ship that. And I'm not going to have you backsassing my ship. Back off." Yeah. Go ahead, because I got the power. Throw some shade. Yeah. Little dark over there with all that shade, ain't it? That's what you get for bashing on my ship. Anyway, colloquialisms. Now I'm trying to figure out where I was. Sorry about that. Oh, the Lord was angry with them, and so as he departed and the cloud left the tent, Miriam's skin was suddenly covered with a dread disease and turned as white as snow. Okay, I think that's a bit far. That's a bit far for someone bashing on your ship. When Aaron looked at her and saw that she was covered with the disease, he said to Moses, "Please, sir, do not make us suffer this punishment for our foolish sin. Don't let her become like something born dead with with half its flesh eaten away." So Moses cried out to the Lord, "O God, heal her." The Lord answered, "If her father had spit in her face, she would have to bear her disgrace for 7 days. So let her be shut out of the camp for a week, and after that she can be brought back in." Miriam was shut out of the camp for 7 days until the people did not move on, and the people did not move on until she was brought back in. Then they left Hazeroth and set up camp in the wilderness of Paran. Okay, so essentially God's like, yeah, that's basically me spitting in her face. Guess you don't want God to spit in your face. No, you don't. Well, that's where I'm going to end it for today. Thank you for watching. Like and favorite if you enjoyed. Go ahead and subscribe to become a VIP today. And I will see you all next time. Have a great day.